Ocean on the Rocks. Coming back to you guys with another one. Recognizing the Game, episode 39. Black Flag. Ya tu sabes. You know what it is. Alright, so this is Semen Retention and the God Concept Part 7, I believe. And this was a older conversation from a while back, right? So I was having a conversation with one of my homies, and it had made me want to do this video. So like I said, these are a recap of videos that I already done. And so he's a Scorpio and I'm a Cancer. So I'm a water sign. And being that water is a universal force, it's a creative force. Where there's water, there's life. You know, water holds memory and it is influenced by changes. It is influenced by and changes shape to the energies around it. So I would say that water has 4 states because it can also be wet but yet move in air. But water has 4 different states. And of the zodiac signs, you have Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, which are the 3 water elements for the 3 water zodiac signs. I fuck with Scorpios. I'm a Cancer, but Cancer and Scorpio are very similar. You have different types of Cancer personality-wise and energy-wise as you do Pisces and Scorpio. But one of the things that I noticed about him being a Scorpio, when we message and whatnot, his energy, and I stated this in the previous video, you can feel energy in people's conversations, how they carry themselves and how they look. But what I noticed when we're having a conversation is that he gives off a feminine energy. And it was very aggravating to me. It bothers me, and I noticed it within his sexual expression when we talk about things of a sexual nature pertaining to women. So, I had to point something out to him like, hey, bro, you got a lot of feminine energy in your text messages. You got a lot of feminine energy. And I brought it up because it was aggravating me, because it was something that he was showing consistently. He has a knack for always bringing things back to a sexual topic. And it's like I had to break down to him the differences between masculine and feminine energy and how feminine energy is receptive because it is the vacuum of creation. So in opposition to the masculine energy is direct, it's assertive, it's direction oriented, it has boundaries and structure. One thing I said to him was that a man has to create boundaries, borders, and structures to protect his own feminine energy, because it is not conducive for a heterosexual man to be in his feminine energy all of the time in an unhealthy way. You being in your emotions all of the time, that emotional state will keep you stuck and stagnant. I had to address it and bring it up to him again because I know he's a Scorpio. One thing I noticed about Scorpios, even the females and the males with him in particular, he's the first male Scorpio that exhibits the same characteristics as the highly sexual Scorpio females that I've come across and have interacted with. The thing about it is that he sounds just like them. You know what I'm saying? And so he doesn't sound like a masculine man expressing his sexual energy. He sounds like a woman. He sounds like a female. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey, bro, that's problematic, because just the energy that he gives off and the way he makes his statements, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm a highly sexual being. I like to have sex, and I can have sex with multiple women at one time. But at the same time, there's a place for that. And I'm not about to be talking about this shit all of the time in my text messages. And I cut off a female for that because she always wanted to talk about sex. And I'm like, look, I don't want to be in that energy unless I'm about to have sex with a woman. I don't want to be in that energy unless I'm having sex in that moment. I don't need to be thinking about sex idly. We as men don't need to be doing that, even though we will. And especially when I'm working or doing things that are important. Of course, sexual thoughts are going to come, but I don't have time for that shit, because that's going to take me to a place that's not conducive to where I'm currently at and what I need to be focused on. And I don't need to be fantasizing about sex. And so my problem with him is that we'll have conversations about sex from time to time, but then I get to a point where it's like, yeah, You know, we can talk about sex. We can joke about sexual things and talk about women, but then you have to draw the line, because I don't like the place that it brings me, and I can get the urge to act on that energy that is being conjured up by the conversation and its influence and fantasy. So you have to draw the line and create boundaries. And like I said, he's probably one of the first guys I've come across that, you know, he's still a man. He doesn't identify himself as bisexual or LGBTQ. Though someone may see him and be like, stop fronting, he's something, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I had to let him know that he needs to keep that shit in check. I understand you're a Scorpio and that's a dark sexual energy. I understand that energy because I'm a Cancer and I tend to be on the darker side of things, that which is hidden, delving into the mysteries, the hidden knowledge. So I understand that reality in the sexual underworld. And the sexual underworld is for another conversation. When it comes to semen retention, you have to start establishing boundaries, because you're making your energy too receptive to shit, too receptive to the wrong influence, to shit around you, and it's weakening you. You have to put up boundaries and blocks to things that will siphon off your energy. When you're thinking about what you need to do for yourself and being connected with yourself, that's why you must look at the God concept differently. I can say that God is nowhere and at the same time everywhere, but no one can verify either of those. The point that I'm making with this video is that being in the feminine energy as a heterosexual male is unattractive. And me just seeing that as a man and having been with women, being with the women that I've been with, having conversations with women, kicking it and spending time with women, having conversations and seeing where their mind is at, that shit is not going to attract women. There's nothing wrong with expressing your sexual desire to a woman. You know what I'm saying? But sex being on your mind and that's all that you think about is not going to attract women. You got to be able to go to yourself and go within yourself and be grounded in who you are and not let that dictate your ability to act in those moments. You know what I'm saying? How does that make you look? The conversation always being brought back to sex. And when I talk about feminine and masculine energy, we're not talking about gender. We're talking about the principles that ancient civilizations understood regulated all of existence. You understand what I'm saying? And these same laws regulate your being, everybody's being. It doesn't matter what you identify as in the LGBTQ. The energy is always moving to and fro between two people. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I mean by recognizing the game. Love, salute.